Okay.
They lost my rent. You find it. I told them, you lost it, you find it. I'm trying to stay calm, sir, but I am so upset because I have never went without paying the rent. And you see where it looked like they whited out? You know, Susanna Vera, who is she? Who is she?
Just go ahead and yell at me. People do all day.
My mama told me to just behave myself in here today.
And do you think you did that?
Yeah.
No.
I feel like I'm in a Twilight Zone.
Why? I look better on TV?
Yeah.
Yeah?
This woman appeared in court over a missing $200 payment she made to her landlord, and she had every reason to be upset. She's caring for her 90-year-old grandmother, struggling to make ends meet, and now the rental office is claiming they've never received her money order. My thing about this situation feels off. Whether it's a serious case of miscommunication or something more questionable, it definitely raises red flags. At the very least, someone in that office should be taking a much closer look at what happened. The judge does their best to keep things under control, but the lack of clear answers makes it hard to ignore the bigger issue. Where's the accountability? Let me know in the comments. Who do you think is really responsible here? Was it the landlord, a staff member in the office, or someone else? Let's take a closer look and see how it all unfolds.
Oh, sir.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing just lovely. Thank you for asking. How are you? All right. And also Dorothy Williams. All right. So last time we were here, there was $1,066.69. How much is owing at this point now?
You and I have rents to retain of $856.64. Cost of $240 for a total of $1,096.64.
Yeah, went up a little bit. All right. How are we going to get this paid off?
It's already paid, sir. They lost it.
Okay.
They lost my rent.
Hold on.
I have receipts. I gave them receipts. She took a photocopy of it.
Who?
The lady that was up there in the rent office. Her name was Dana. We don't have management because everyone has quit. And my rent came up missing, and the woman that was there, she quit or got fired. Now,
All right. Are you going to have your January rent?
Yes.
Okay. When are you going to pay your January rent?
On the 3rd.
Okay. Then here's what I'm going to do. What's your monthly rent?
$657 plus the water bill. My mother is 94 years old.
Yes, I recall, ma'am, the last time you were here.
I'm trying to stay calm, sir, but I am so upset because I have never went without paying the rent. And here these people got me up in here defending myself, and I got receipts. A bag of receipts. A bag.
So you pay your $657 plus whatever your other charges are. You're to pay that by January 3rd, 2020.
Yes.
25. Okay.
Yes, I pay it every
that rent. So this way the number doesn't get worse. So everything is done, and then we can try to figure out where we go from here on this. I'll adjourn this then to January 10th, 2025 at 3 p.m. Hello.
3 p.m.
Okay, at 3 p.m. Okay.
Yes,
and
sir.
We'll figure it out in terms of what was lost and when it was lost and anything along those lines. Okay.
Yeah, and can I say something? They told me that I had to run this thing down. I called MoneyGram. MoneyGram said that one money order was cashed on the 7th. Another one was cashed on the 8th. What the heck? What the heck?
Okay.
And then you're going to send me papers talking about find it? You find it. I told them, you lost it, you find it. Doggone they time. I'm not happy. I'm not happy. My mother is 94 years old. She has a colostomy bag on one side and a tube in her gallbladder on the other side. We cannot afford not to pay our rent. She's 94.
Ma'am.
Doggone they time.
Ma'am.
Yes. Yes, sir.
What I need you to do is if you got confirmation that those were cash,
Mm-hmm.
I need you to get written confirmation from MoneyGram
Mm-hmm.
that has happened.
Mm-hmm.
Bring that to the next hearing
Okay.
because that's going to be important for us trying to figure out what happened.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay, sir.
All right.
Happy New Year, Judge Simpson.
Yes, ma'am. You.
And Happy New Year to everybody.
Your Honor,
Yes, ma'am.
is that amount to be paid for both this matter and the past matter to my client, or are we putting that in escrow with the court?
She's going to pay it to your client. She's gone, but that's where I'm sure she's going to pay it because
Okay.
your
Thank-
client's going to have to hear it. Okay.
Before we dive into her second court appearance to see how this case unfolds, let's be honest. Something about this situation just doesn't sit right. The landlord story has way too many gaps, yet somehow she's the one being questioned like she did something wrong. How does that make sense? If it turns out she did pay the rent and the paperwork was simply lost or mishandled, then the real problem is on the landlord's side, not hers. And in some states, tenants are fully within their rights to sue for this kind of negligence. Landlords do get away with questionable behavior far too often, and it's stressful, especially for someone who's just trying to care for their family and stay afloat. Hopefully, Judge Simpson sees through the confusion, because right now it feels like she's being treated as the problem, when she might be the only one who followed the rules. Let's jump into her next appearance and see if this situation finally gets resolved.
Dorothy Williams.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
How are you?
I don't know yet. You're gonna. Well, I don't know because you look like you're gonna yell at me.
No, I'm not. My
Yeah.
mother told me to calm down before I have a stroke.
And she said, "Calm down when you come before me," didn't she? I like your mother.
She told me.
Because the last couple times.
Oh, but you know what, Judge Simpson?
Yes, ma'am.
I have so much on my plate and I know what I've done. And when you know what you've done and someone is trying to tell you you didn't do it, I'm like, but here it is. Would you give this to Judge Simpson, please?
Are you just gonna do what she says? I know. I was scared. No, I got you. Okay, what am I looking at?
You're looking at the receipts that I was telling, the money orders that I bought for the rent for October. And all this time I was telling you, someone up in that office took my money orders.
Okay.
I'm trying to.
No, right now you're not listening to what
Okay.
your mama told you, right? Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And you have not shown this to counsel.
No, I didn't show it to anyone, but my mom and you. And you see where it looked like they whited out? You know, Susanna Vera, who is she? Who is she?
Who?
Susanna Vera. If you see on one of those money orders
I do.
that says Susanna Vera, I don't know who she is. And on the other money order, it was made out, crossed everything out, and made out to a roofing company. I don't know nothing about no roofing company. I don't.
So with these money orders, you're saying you put them into.
I put them, I done, if I didn't have time because we don't even know when the office is open anymore. I know, but you know what, sir?
Woosah.
Okay,
Take it down.
okay.
You are not going to make it through this hearing without. If you need to yell at me. I
No.
can take it.
No, only
No, just go ahead and yell at me. People
What?
do all day.
well,
Doesn't bother me. I take the robe off, go home. I'm fine.
oh no. But what I'm trying to say, sir, if you look at it, both of them, it seems like somebody whited out. I'm shutting up.
You're not telling me the truth on that. Because you're gonna say so. You're just gonna be quiet for right now.
Be quiet.
Okay. All right.
Turn my head. Be quiet.
Miss Dornbush, you haven't seen these, and
I have not, Your Honor, and just giving Ms. Reeves the benefit of not seeing them, and that what she's brought to the court is what I think it is. I don't think there's any dispute that Ms. Reeves purchased money orders, but even based on that, there's also no dispute that my client didn't receive that money either. And so I know there's a process.
I absolutely agree with you on both those points, unless, and I don't want to.
What's the name of the roofing company, Your Honor? I do not know a Susanna Vera at the Arbor Woods office. I do not believe that individual is an employee there.
It says LLB Soffit and Gutter Seals, maybe, or.
And Your Honor, if the court's able to scan those over to me, I'm happy to review those.
Yeah, we will.
Client.
I was going to do that.
In the interim, I know MoneyGram has a procedure for Ms. Reeves to dispute that the payee is the intended payee and to request that they be reissued to the intended payee. And I don't necessarily have an objection to continuing this court case and having her pay the ongoing charges while those disputed amounts are hopefully reissued by MoneyGram.
Yeah, I don't know if they're. The problem is the last paragraph and you'll see it when it says that they're saying after the purchase of the money order, MoneyGram is not responsible for the acts of purchaser, pays, and others, which may result in a dispute. Confirmation of a cash.
And I think that's for the intended payee. You know, if there's a dispute between the purchaser of the money order, Ms. Reeves, and her intended payee, Arbor Woods. But here, those individuals that cashed those money orders were not her intended payee. Ms. Reeves was certainly not intended.
No, I agree with you.
Or the roofing company.
Well, I'll let you read it. I read what they're trying to say a little bit differently. I thought she was going to be quiet. No, go ahead.
Because, sir, she keeps saying that I purchased these money orders.
Hold on. Let me stop you.
Okay.
Ms. Dornbush is representing her client.
Yeah.
She's not trying to make an accusation necessarily against you. What she said at the very beginning is absolutely true, and it's something I agree with. I believe that both things can be true here. I think you dropped these off. Somebody got them, right? So what you tried to do didn't happen. What the landlord wants is everything paid. That didn't happen. That's really all she's saying. They didn't get the money and it didn't go to your account. Okay? All right. Did that calm you down at all?
No.
Okay.
How does a rent payment intended for housing end up being cashed by a roofing company? That raises some real concerns. Was the landlord diverting funds, or did someone in the office handle the payment improperly? At this point, it's hard to believe it was just a simple mistake. It's either a serious oversight or something more troubling. What makes it even more frustrating is that, in some states, once a money order leaves your hands, you're still held responsible, even if it's stolen or misused. That's like placing a food order, having it delivered to the wrong person, and still getting charged. It just doesn't seem fair. Let me know in the comments, do you think this was an inside job or just a case of bad management? Because this situation is starting to feel like it deserves a much closer look.
All I got. Can we scan those?
Because
yes, ma'am.
if you look at it, it looked like someone whited out.
No, I see what you're saying. The problem is, I don't know. You may be saying that it may be somebody that's affiliated with the landlord.
It is.
Who?
I can't say her name because she was the only one working up in the office. Here I am.
Okay.
I've been putting
hold on.
Your Honor, if Miss Reeves has a belief on who it is, I would request that she provide me that information so I can discuss it with my client. But as of now, I have no reason to believe that an Arborwoods employee took her money.
She doesn't even work there no more. Her name is Zoe.
Okay, hold on. Just, here's what I want you to do.
What?
Okay. First thing I want you to do is I want you got to take your mother's advice. You need to calm down. Seriously.
I'm about to have a heart attack.
Yeah, I know. But that's
my
what
God.
you're doing because you need to calm down. There's not much that can be resolved. I'm going to put this over a week. What I want you to do so that somebody's name isn't out there, I want you to call Miss Dornbush's office.
Call whose office?
The
This
attorney's
lady's office?
Yes.
I don't have her number.
Okay, it's on your paperwork. We'll get you a number.
Thank you.
Call her.
Yeah.
And ma'am, I'm just gonna say this. She's willing to take the name. She may not be able to get to an answer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Even after she talks to her client, she may not be able to get to an answer. But one of the things that I expect from all people is that you treat people with respect.
Yeah.
So when you call her, I don't want any of this.
Yeah.
If I get a report of any of this, I am not going to be happy.
I know.
She wants to take that. She doesn't even have to do that.
No,
quite
she
frankly.
doesn't.
She has offered to do that so she can talk it over with her clients
Okay.
about it. Okay.
Okay.
So you treat her right. You
I
hear me?
will. I will.
And I know that she will treat you right.
I will.
Okay. Yeah, that doesn't mean the people have to disagree.
Yeah. Can I say something else?
I cannot stop you. I haven't been able to stop you yet. Yeah, go ahead.
If you look at my pay log, I have never been late for my rent.
That's about the 20th time you have told me that.
I know.
Between the times you've been here.
I know.
Everybody can see that.
Okay, Judge Simpson. My mama told me to just behave myself in here today.
And do you think you did that?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
January 31st, 2025. What time? 1 p.m.
1 p.m. Okay.
I'll be waiting with bells on.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Am I gonna leave those papers here?
Oh, did you make me a copy? Or did you give me back?
I gave
you back the original, but I have escaped the copy. I can print and file.
Okay. Let's get those back.
Thank you. I'm nervous.
You're nervous?
Yeah.
I couldn't tell. All right. You have a good weekend.
You too, Judge
All right.
Simpson. And I look forward to seeing you on the 31st.
Yes, ma'am.
Think about it. The woman appears calm, respectful, and even hopeful. Does that really seem like someone trying to dodge rent? In most cases, people trying to avoid paying rent don't show up to court well-dressed, carrying documents and ready to talk things through. They disappear. She didn't. In fact, people who are hiding something usually act nervous or defensive, not composed and cooperative like she is here. And legally, if the landlord can't prove she didn't pay, that could seriously shift things in her favor. In some states, the burden of proof doesn't just fall on the tenant, it can go both ways. This case still has unanswered questions, but one thing's clear: something's not adding up. Let's jump into the final part and see if she's able to resolve things, or if this courtroom takes a dramatic turn.